Hello and welcome to week 5 of the course EU Security and the Future of NATO. In previous weeks, you explored the foundations of NATO, the role of the European Union as a security actor, and the institutional cooperation between NATO and the EU. This week, you will focus on NATO enlargement and its implications for European and global security. NATO enlargement has been one of the most significant geopolitical developments in Europe since the end of the Cold War. Understanding this process will help you analyze how security alliances expand, how geopolitical dynamics influence membership decisions, and how enlargement affects regional stability. After the collapse of the Soviet Union, many countries in Central and Eastern Europe sought membership in NATO. These countries viewed NATO membership as a way to strengthen their security, stabilize democratic institutions, and integrate into the Euro-Atlantic political community. As a result, NATO expanded in several phases beginning in the late 1990s. This expansion significantly reshaped the European security landscape. However, NATO enlargement has also generated debates and geopolitical tensions, particularly in relation to Russia's perception of the alliance's expansion. As you examine this topic, you should consider both the security benefits and the geopolitical challenges associated with NATO enlargement. This week introduces several key concepts that will help you analyze the strategic implications of NATO enlargement. One important concept is Euro-Atlantic integration, which refers to the political and security integration of European countries into Western institutions such as NATO and the European Union. Another key concept is the security dilemma, which occurs when actions taken by one state to increase its security are perceived as threats by other states. This concept is particularly relevant when analyzing the geopolitical tensions associated with NATO enlargement. As you review the materials this week, you should reflect on how these concepts help explain the dynamics of international security competition. During this week, you will complete several learning activities designed to deepen your understanding of NATO enlargement. First, you should review the lecture materials and assigned readings which explain the historical development of NATO enlargement and its geopolitical implications. Next, you will participate in the discussion forum where you will analyze the strategic consequences of NATO expansion. You will also complete a short quiz which will help you review the key concepts introduced in this week's module. Finally, you will complete a weekly analytical project where you will evaluate the geopolitical implications of NATO enlargement. This week also includes an interactive analytical activity. In this activity, you will examine the different phases of NATO enlargement and analyze how the alliance expanded into Central and Eastern Europe. You will evaluate the strategic motivations behind enlargement and consider the perspectives of both NATO member states and neighboring countries. As you work through this activity, you should reflect on how geopolitical developments influence the expansion of international alliances. In the discussion forum, you will analyze the following question: does NATO enlargement strengthen European security or contribute to geopolitical tensions? When writing your response, you should support your argument using examples from the readings or policy materials introduced in this week's module. Your initial post should present a clear analytical perspective, and you should also respond constructively to the contributions of at least 2 classmates. The discussion forum will allow you to explore different perspectives on one of the most debated issues in contemporary international security. At the end of the weekly module, you will complete a short quiz designed to help you review the key concepts introduced this week. The quiz will focus on topics such as the phases of NATO enlargement, the concept of the security dilemma, the geopolitical implications of alliance expansion. Completing the quiz will help you reinforce your understanding of these concepts before moving to the next module. Your weekly project will focus on analyzing the strategic implications of NATO enlargement. You may choose the format that best demonstrates your understanding of the topic. For example, you may submit a policy analysis essay, a short video explanation, a podcast commentary, an infographic, or a narrated presentation. Regardless of the format you choose, your project should demonstrate critical analysis and engagement with the key concepts introduced this week. To guide your work, please consult the assessment rubric available in the course platform. The rubric explains how your project will be evaluated, focusing on conceptual understanding, analytical reasoning, use of evidence, clarity of communication. Using the rubric during the development of your project will help you produce a strong and well-structured submission. Week 5 provides an important opportunity to analyze how geopolitical developments influence the expansion of international security alliances. As you work through the materials this week, you should think critically about how NATO enlargement has reshaped the European security landscape and how it continues to influence international relations today. Your analysis this week will prepare you for upcoming topics where you will examine NATO crisis management operations, EU security missions, and the future of transatlantic cooperation. I look forward to seeing your ideas in the discussion forum and your analytical projects in the weekly assignment. Good luck with your work this week.